recording. Hello, and welcome to the first ever episode of me doing sound design for 15 minutes. I'm going to do this whenever I feel like it, and I'm going to set a timer for 15 minutes. But first, let me give you a quick rundown of what I'm going to do. So I have a drum loop in Ableton that is going on, and I want to put a melody to it. And I'm going to use that as an example of how I might design a melody within PHASEPLANT, the synthesizer, in a way that utilizes the LFO instead of the MIDI roll to create the pitch movement, to create the melody that I want to manifest. And this will open up some interesting possibilities in terms of modulating the timbre of the sound as it unfolds in time, as well as interesting applications for mutations and different versions by duplicating and changing the patch once I create the initial architecture. So you do a lot of the work up front, and then you can keep duplicating it and saves time in the long run. So I'm going to start out with a blank PHASEPLANT, and I'm just going to start designing a melody. The audio of my mic is sidechained to the audio of my speakers, so when the music's playing, you're not going to hear me talk. I might forget and just try to talk, but hopefully you will be able to see what I do and understand how I'm doing it and work it out. So let's start. Boom. Okay, so time is ticking, and now I'm just going to assume that my stream's working fine. So here we are in Ableton. I'm going to select and hit Z. So here's our drum loop. I made this a little bit earlier. It sounds like this. So it's just a 2-bar loop, and I'm going to create a melody for it. So I already created one earlier. I'm going to create an instrument channel. I'm going to grab a PHASEPLANT. Oops. There we go. Not a phaser. Okay, so we have a PHASEPLANT. Now we want to create, I'm not going to say we, I want to create a wavetable, and then I want to take advantage of the amazing options that PHASEPLANT has in terms of FM, PM, and AM synthesis all at once. I'm going to go and get a simple-ish wavetable. See this? Something like this or this. I think this would be good. And then for this one, I want a pretty... Ooh, let's try this PWM square wave. So I'm going to do shift modulation, which is actual frequency modulation. So I'm taking this and making this go up and down with it in pitch. And then I'm going to turn this down. So let's hear what that sounds like. Okay, let's not do the square, but actually let me try what it sounds like just if we have a little movement, because PWM sounds weird when it's... So I'm going to pick my root note, And I'm just going to put, let's say I'm in E. Let's do E minor or E harmonic minor. Alright, now we're going to create some pitch modulation. However, first I'm going to just hold command so that'll allow me to insert a filter, and I'm going to filter out some of that harsh high end and put a key track with this note plugin. I'm going to track, and that will track along with the notes, and I can create a resonant peak and just find a different upper harmonic to accentuate for this tone. So let's create a pitch lane now. So I'm going to make the sync on 4/4, and I think that would make it a bar. I'm going to put this on unipolar, and I'm just going to do, let's do 2 octaves. So I'm going to map this ramp to master pitch, right click, and put 24. So then we want to change the grid to 16 by 24. And now we can use this step function, and holding control will allow us to snap to the grid. So we can create a wonderful step sequencer in here. So now let's see what that sounds like. You can get weird divisions here, so let's try dividing it by 12. then I can like take it off off of this and onto the other thingy, this little guy. And I can kind of like, once I have something I kind of like, I can go control duplicate. And these are all, both set to re-trigger, so that means they're going to be in sync as long as I don't change the timing. So now I can go into this secondary one that does not have a mapping yet, and I can adjust this so that I have a little bit of amplitude modulation. So I can start doing stuff like this, which can be really fun. And what's great is we can select all these and kind of move them all at once. You know? Can do some stuff like this. And so now we can map this one to the volume just a bit, not all the way. And then listen to this. So we can start mapping this sequencer to other things like the wavetable position of the FM operator. And so we mapped it to the FM operator wavetable position. We can actually in reverse map it to this top one so that it's kind of going the other way. I'm going to blend in a sawtooth. So now I want to be able to change the speed of this sequencer. So I'm going to take macro 1 and map it all the way to both of these. That way I can turn the speed up. So that's like way more crazy sounding than it was before just playing with that knob. So I'm gonna have a little fun with that. Our time is probably almost up. This is just the basic concept here. You can go really deep with this kind of thing, but so we're gonna just play with the speed with a macro. So So mapped macro 1, Command M for MIDI map, and then I'm just going to map this knob on my MIDI fighter twister so that I can play with that. Doesn't seem to have worked. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to hit record. I'm on overdub and automation right. There it was. I like that last pass. So we got that automation. It's very subtle. That's why I like to play it in. Really like to play it in because then you can be really subtle with the amount and it's not a lot of work. And then so that's like our little lead melody, and then we can put got a bass here. So we were in E minor, but I think we're playing a different note. Let's see. Seems like we're hitting an A minor. It's kind of a shame. That's all right. There we go. Okay. And that is it. Episode 1 of my Doing Sound Design for 15 Minutes series on Twitch at Cephros. That's 5 EPHRO5. Sorry, I know it's kind of hard to remember. Just think of the 5s as S's. Until next time, adios. I'll probably keep working on this. 15 minutes next time. We'll see. Peace and thank you.